Well, here she is with the 20-inch high country wheels and the 35-inch trail wraps. She's pretty. It's got that stocky kind of, well, not really stocky, but you know, definitely the taller kind of look. Actually really kind of digging it. Didn't really think I would, but actually, like, if this thing had some like 2-inch wheel spacers, I think it honestly would be pretty sick. So let's check it out. So for anyone new, it's 3-inch in the front and no blocks in the back. So she's got a little squat to her. These trail wraps are just about shot. So taking that into account in anything that I say and compare them to, they definitely probably are about 1/2 inch shorter than a fresh set. Now I really actually have liked it. Everywhere I've got out of the truck today, went in, come back out, you know, I've actually really liked seeing the truck coming back out. Probably just because I've had the offset on it for a pretty good while now. It's fun to mix it up. That's why I make all these videos, because I enjoy seeing these different setups on the truck, because I think it's freaking awesome. So hopefully y'all do enjoy this video. I'm gonna be showing everything, how it looks, obviously, how it turns, how does it rub, how it reacts on the road, basically everything I typically do, but I'm gonna do it all in one video on this truck with these wheels and tires. I don't want to stretch this one out. Getting kind of tired of doing that, and yeah, so let's check it out. So these are a 295, 65, 20. Like I said, they're low tread. I'm not gonna even try to lie about that. All right, so that is, these are a little low tread, so I want to just see exactly what we're working with. So on the ground up there, so there it is. They are actually about 34 inches tall. So about 34 inches tall. So maybe you want to get the 295, 65, 20 rather than getting a true 35, 12, 50. Well, we can measure sideways as well. You know, it's not ever going to be real accurate, but there it is. About 11 inches wide, what it looks like. So, with all that being said, definitely a very big improvement over, you know, people that want to run bigger tires on a stock wheel. 33s just do not look big enough on these trucks. They're big bodied, and if you run a 33 on a stock wheel, they usually look really, really small. So this being a 34, which we just measured, just a true 34 as it is, I think they look awesome. Sidewall to wheel ratio is about perfect. Some people hate these high country wheels. They're not my favorite, and I've always been a black wheel fan, but I kind of like them on here. I can't lie, I kind of do like them. Definitely, if I was going to do this kind of look, I would go with one of the other styles and probably run a 22. If I'm going to run 35s, maybe stay with 20s, but yeah, so I kind of do like this look. There's not much to show. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see how she fits now. So one thing to note when we come back here in the back, since this is a 35, or it's a 34 11-inch, we'll just say that. So we come back here, since there is no offset, it definitely brings this in a lot closer to the fender liner than like with my 22 by 12s, because they stick out a lot farther. So if you were to, you know, flex this one, there's no way it's going to get the fender, but it might get in here and hit your fender liner if it's flexed enough. I think the bump stops would stop it, but it's possible. So let's crank the truck up, roll the window down, and we're going to check out how much this thing can turn without. It's extremely hot, so the fan is running. Hopefully you can still hear. So let's turn, see what she gets into. back. It's not into the metal. Definitely just pin this back and get away perfectly fine. If these were full tread, you might have a little more difficulty, but I think you could still pull that back a little bit and get away with it totally. Over here. So, all the way, no issues up front whatsoever. Let's see. So, whew, that's pretty close. Pretty close to the top A-arm. Go over here and rotate it the other way. Let's look here. That side's perfectly fine. Let's see how close it gets to this thing. Yeah, no clearance issues whatsoever in the front. So let's crank it all the way. So yeah, you're gonna hit. Looks like you're going to hit the control arm. This is the 2-piece stamp. You're going to hit that control arm at full crank. So, not a huge deal. I mean, you're getting a ton of turn. That's plenty of turn to drive. Absolutely tons. More than my 22x12s or 33s. So, you're able to turn plenty with this setup. That looks pretty sick. But yeah, so I think that's about it. Rubs on the top of the control arm, you can see right there, little tiny rub mark. So it does rub there, and it will rub in the very back, just tiny on the fender liner. Front up here, completely fine. So I guess that's about it. I guess we're gonna jump into the driving around part. I did get one little piece of footage from the outside, seeing the truck and everything, so we'll jump to that and then get into the truck and talking about how it drives. Alright guys, so you've already seen, I'm sure, the outside of the truck. I'm not going to make this one into multiple videos. I'm just going to do it all at once. I'm sure I've already said this, but so I haven't filmed the walk around or the showing how much it rubs, whatever. I'm going to film that when I get home, but I'm out driving the truck and stuff today, so I'm filming this first. As far as driving goes, I haven't felt it rub any better or worse than the 22x12s. Well, actually, I guess I haven't felt it. I guess it's been better because I haven't felt it rub at all yet. And I don't know if it's necessarily because I haven't turned it all the way. I need to do a full lock. Obviously, y'all have already probably seen if it does hit, where it does hit. So I won't really talk about that anymore. But as far as driving, it has not hindered me whatsoever to have 35s. So now that we're getting out of town, I guess it's really not noticeable. I really don't notice any lack of power, or because these are pretty worn out 35s. They're 295, 65, 20, whatever, but they are still basically a full 35-inch tall tire. I'm sure I've already measured it. You've already seen that, whatever, so you know exactly what it comes out to. But it's still a tall tire, and it's definitely a lot taller than the 33 Aturos for sure. So you would think, maybe that would hurt performance because obviously that's a much taller tire. I don't think it actually weighs as much as the 22x12s or the 33s, but it is definitely a bigger rotating mass. So basically you have the two different people. You got the ones that want the offset look, so they get the wide wheels, maybe run a smaller tire, because when you do have offset, it does make it much more difficult to clear things and not have to trim anything. So most people, I would say, that ran like a 20x12, or in my case, 22x12, you're gonna run probably a 33 maximum, just because it pushes the wheel out so far. If you try to run a 35, it's gonna get into the body and you're gonna have to do a lot of cutting. Whereas if you run a stock offset wheel, you can get away with a much larger tire. So these being, basically a 35, whatever it is, 12 wide, and on these stock high country wheels, you can run it with a leveling kit pretty much no problem. Definitely much easier than if it had offset. People have been doing this forever, especially back, I know when I had my F-150, everyone was running 35s on stock offset wheels. Now most people run, offset wheels and stuff now, and then either just stuff 35s on them or just run 33s like myself. But a lot of people do run like the, I guess, 2s and 3s, and then 4s and 5s or 4s and 7s. People like that real big wheel and tire. Got a van in front of me that's got one brake light, no turn signal. But people like either big offset or big wheels or stock wheels. That's pretty much what you get. But a lot of people do try to stuff like a 24 and a 35 on like a level truck. And that's a lot to ask. But when you do that away with rep wheels or whatever, they typically have zero offset and you can get away with it. So a lot of people get confused on the whole offset thing because they think a 35 is a 35 or a 33 is a 33, and it's just not the case. Different setups work differently. If you have a lot of offset, you're not going to be able to run a real big tire, whereas if you have stock offset, you typically can, at least bigger than if you had offset, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know how to explain that any better than how I just said it, but that's basically it. If you run no offset, you can run a bigger tire. So we're cruising 55 miles an hour, we're in overdrive, and honestly, it really feels the exact same as far as accelerating and holding a gear, exactly the same as my 33 1250s. I will say it is definitely a little more darty. It definitely feels more darty with these tires on it, which they're taller, they're skinnier, they're in the truck more, so it would make sense. You wouldn't really think putting 12 wides on a truck would actually make it more stable, but I guess it does. Just giving it that more stance, putting the wheels farther out so it has a wider touch to the ground, however you want to say it, I don't know, but definitely it is pretty twitchy with these tires on here. And like I said, these are pretty low tread. I mean, I'm sure you've already seen them at this point, but tire noise, I guess, is, I don't know how. Usually tires get louder the lower the tread they get, at least from what I've experienced. So I don't know if these are the same way, if they're louder now or if they were louder when they were new or whatever, but I would say these are probably quieter right now than the Aturos. A lot of y'all comment saying that they're really loud in the videos or whatever. Well, there's nothing I can really do about that. If I turn the audio down, then you won't be able to hear me. People complain about that, which most of that is from when I use my iPhone, not my GoPro. GoPro seems to pick up my voice fine, whereas the phone, if I have it pointed away from me, it doesn't pick up my voice great. So I have to go in there and adjust it. Sometimes I forget, I know. Sometimes I just slap videos together because I'm not feeling it or whatever. So that's why sometimes audio is a little janky, but I believe it's all right on the GoPro. But tire noise, just a normal little tire hum. No big deal. I will say this, you can definitely tell the truck is taller, especially when I'm standing by it or go to get in it or whatever. Just putting the 35s on there, I was like, wow, it's actually quite a bit taller. And it's pretty cool. I think I would really like these wheels and tires if maybe I had a spacer. I don't know if I would want to run a 2-inch, but you kind of have to. I probably would. If it was a 2-inch spacer, I think they would stick out just enough to really give it a good look. Because I just hate when they're tucked inside the fender wells. It just, I don't know, I just do not like that at all. But I do really like these on this truck. I think I like them better on here than I do the OBS. The OBS, it just needs offset. It's just, I don't know. OBSs are awkward if they don't have offset to me. That's just me personally. You know, everyone sees different things differently. But I could rock these on here. I honestly think I could. They fit. They might have some more issues if they were brand new, because you would be adding probably an inch worth of, you know, from whatever it is, up to an inch potentially of more height from the tread. I doubt it's a full inch of tread depth, but you know what I'm saying. So you might run into some slight issues if they were new tires. I can't say for sure. If I ever get a fresh set, of course I'll put them on here and let y'all know. But there has been a ton of people asking to put these wheels and tires on here because a lot of people don't like the offset. They want to run their stock wheels and some 35s, because honestly, on stock wheels, 33s look tiny. They look absolutely tiny. If you put them on like a 12 wide or something, they really look much, much bigger, mainly because of the width. But the whole tire, and I don't know, you put it on 22 by 12 with a 33, a lot of people think I have 35s when they first see the truck or they first ask me about it or whatever. A lot of people have said that they thought they were 35s. And if you put 33s on a stock tire, they really do kind of look just tiny. Like they just don't, I don't know, they just don't look that hot to me. So I get it. If you want to run stock wheels, most people want to opt for the 35s. Give you the extra sidewall. It looks better. It does obviously cost some because you're gonna be having worse fuel economy, which I guess I should have reset this. I guess I could. I could reset it real quick and just see. I mean, we're on some hilly, turny roads. It's gonna be terrible, but I mean, I can reset it long enough to see. But you know, 35s definitely look a lot better than 33s on a no offset wheel. So, oh yeah, we're getting 21.5 going down this hill. That's accurate. Honestly, my speedometer is probably off a little bit. It's pretty much dead on with the 33s because they're not even quite a 33 being stretched like they are, and being a Turos, whichever way actually affects it. They're very slightly bigger than the stock tires, even though they look way, way bigger than the stock tires. They're not much taller. So speedometer was fine then, but with these actually being 35s, I bet my speedometer is off. I could probably check it. I'll check it. I'm not going to do this while I'm driving. I don't know how you think I'm going to check it, but I'm not going to show you because you're going to freak out. Alright guys, I checked it. I didn't do it while I was driving. I just magically did it somehow. It looks like it's about 5 miles an hour off. So this is 308s with 35-inch tall tires. Looks like at 55 or 50 miles an hour, they're about 5 miles an hour off. So that's what your speedometer would be freaked out about. I believe that's pretty accurate. The app that I use has always been fairly accurate. You never know, there might have been some whatever, but it looks like it's about 5 miles an hour off. Alright guys, that's about all I had to say about in driving it. I mean, you know, the fuel economy is saying 22.7 right now, so it's obviously that's not right. We're going up and downhill, so it's confusing right now. It's only been 2.4 miles, so obviously not going to get that kind of fuel economy with 35s, but that's about it. Drives pretty much the same as with the 22 by 12s and 33s. I haven't romped on it, so I don't ever really romp on it because I just don't do that in this truck. If I want to go romp on something, I'll do it in my car. You know, unless I have to pull out in front of somebody or whatever it might be. But as far as just normal driving, it seems to perform pretty much the exact same as the others, minus these are a little more twitchy going down the highway. They definitely feel, I don't know, just twitchy is the only word I can come up with. It's just real eager to jump all over the place. Not if I'm steering it straight, but if I do adjust the steering, it seems to want to dip and dive a little bit quicker for sure. So that's about it. Y'all let me know. I'll see y'all in the next one.